Hi everyone, it's Norman Kochnick here. I'm in a slightly more comfortable position tonight. Not the best of states tonight. I'm probably not 100%. That's all right. I'll be able to do the show. We have Sunil. India will win the World Cup. Well, that's going to be interesting if India can actually make the semi-finals. Is probably the most important of all priorities. They've got some very interesting matches coming up. They obviously have to beat New Zealand to start with, and then have a very successful period against the Namibias and the Scotlands, and obviously one very important game, which will be against Afghanistan as well. Now, Afghanistan have been in tremendous form to date. Not like Bangladesh tonight. Bangladesh are in atrocious form. They're 9 for 124 after their 20 overs. Just over 6.2 runs per over. Not exactly what you'd call a very respectable total, but it shows the strength of the England bowlers, because Moeen Ali took 2 for 18 Wokes, 1 for 12. Tymel Mills looking great this series, 3 for 27 of his 4 overs, and Liam Livingstone even took 2 wickets. Now, clearly the England side are well. They didn't even need to get wickets from Adil Rashid and Chris Jordan, so they have a very well-balanced bowling lineup, England, and they're proving in the 2 games they've had so far they've smashed the West Indies, and now they're into a match against Bangladesh, and they're doing equally as well. They're proving to be as informed a side as Pakistan are, as we know. So Stunners, a person called Stunner, there we are. Hey Norman. Sagar, when England batsmen play the ball, doesn't swing, doesn't seam, ball doesn't spin, it's all about intent. Shame on all other teams. It's true. It's a very strong determination by the England side. They're doing very well. They're now chasing down. They've got Jason Roy, who's looking strong on 41 of 25 balls, hitting high 4s and 6. Josh Butler got out, but he got 18. And Dawood Malan is cruising on 15. So at this point in time, England are 1 for 80 throughout in 9 overs. They'll get the 120 odd again in a canter well early than most. In fact, West Indies were beaten in a very short amount of time, and now the Bangladesh team are being beaten in a very short amount of time. England, unless they fall over, will in fact be one of the semi-finalists for sure, as will Pakistan. Now, Pakistan have beaten, as you know, India, and they've also knocked off New Zealand now in incredible results. And then it should get easier for them. They're playing Afghanistan, as we're in Namibia and Scotland. They're likely to win all 5 matches and likely to go through the semi-finals quite easily. England are in the same boat. And you may well see England and Pakistan top the various groups. It leaves the other 2 semi-finalists to be produced, and you would argue that India should, if they beat New Zealand and they continue to win, they'll be the second side in Group 2, which means New Zealand, Scotland, Namibia, and Argentina. Afghanistan will not get through. So you would think India, Pakistan in Group 2. Group 1 will be England, and it's a matter of finding out who the other group winner will be in Group 1. It could be Sri Lanka. It could be Australia. Outside chance, it could be South Africa. Or with Bangladesh losing the second match in a row and West Indies losing 2 in a row, they're unlikely to go through. So it will probably be a combination of Sri Lanka, Australia, and less likely South Africa. I would say it's less likely that South Africa will go through. It'll be Sri Lanka or Australia who will go through with England. No name, hello. So whoever gets 4 wins gets to semi-finals. Basically, seeing Pakistan play, I would love to have seen them in Group A. Why? For Group 1, they would have. Well, they probably would have done even better, because you would argue that certainly India are a strong opposition and New Zealand are. So I mean, England will be the only one to worry about, but you'll see England probably top Group 1, and you'll have Pakistan top Group 2, which means they won't play each other in the semi-finals. They'll be on opposite ends. You'll see probably Pakistan perhaps play against Sri Lanka or West Indies, and it'll be England versus India in one semi, which is unfortunate. They could well have been the finalists, you would argue. So we'll wait and see. That's correct. Hi, Baram Irani. So I'm waiting on Aparna. Aparna promised to come, and she had some enlightening news to make, but she hasn't come yet. So England, again, cruising. They're 1 for 89 off 9.5 overs, chasing a mere 120 odd. I think it's 129. So they've got 30 odd runs to go. They're probably going to do that in 3 overs and be done with. Shaki Al-Hussein's bowling. And looks like Jason Roy's looking very, very good, by the way. But it's more the England bowling and feeling that are impressing me. I'm very impressed with the way that England have bowled. The bowling attack now, having Adil Rashid there, they've got Wokes, they've got a whole Tymal Mills is proving to be incredibly useful. And you've got, let's look at the bowling lineup for England. Moeen Ali, who's just a revelation after his CSK form. Chris Wokes is as steady as we all know. Adil Rashid's an incredible spinner, but he hasn't had much success today. Chris Wokes was a tiny bit expensive, but Liam Livingstone's taken 2 for 15 off 3 overs, and Tymal's taken 4 overs worth of 3 for 27. Got enough bowling against the ship. Bangladesh are very, very ordinary looking. They had trouble against Sri Lanka. They batted well. I think it was 171, but today they can hit only 124. So Baram will come after an hour. Sonelson, I love you, sir, because you support India. Go Sri Karam. Rashid took a great catch. He did. Okay, so there's been a lot going on that's positive. But this is a bit of a fizzer of a match, isn't it? The next match will be a little bit more intriguing, not necessarily the table toppers, but Scotland and Namibia. Namibia's first game in the big league. Scotland, it'll be their second after getting smacked in their last match. You would argue that, will Scotland win? Will Namibia win? It'll be interesting. I'm leaning more towards Namibia, actually. I think they're both playing the same ground. I'd like to see Namibia get up. It'll be the first ever entree in a World Cup. So, yeah, that'll be interesting. Rashid took a great... Yeah, okay, we've talked about that. So, the other news that's come out today, and we need to update on that as well, of course, is the obviously the further development on the Quinton de Kock matter. He's even been touted as being chosen for the Big Bash in Australia coming up at the end of the year, that he won't be playing for South Africa, which is interesting. The lack of intent from Bangladeshi batsmen, exactly true. The lack of everything. Bangladesh doesn't seem to have it at all. They're sliding out very quickly, just about as fast as the West Indies seem to be doing. So West Indies are very ordinary as well. I'm disappointed with the West Indies. I thought they were going to go a lot better. And Bangladesh at home were looking so great, weren't they? There's real damage to both West Indies and even New Zealand, but they just don't seem to get their act together here. They're just being... Mushfiqur got 29, Nasum 19, all batted very poorly. It just seems to me that there's one thing after the other here. Then it's a game of surprise. The lack of... what do you mean by a game of surprise? Well, look, again, England are streets ahead. England are cruising. They've beaten the West Indies and They're beating Bangladesh very comprehensively, not just winning in the last few balls as Australia did against South Africa. They're actually really giving them a hiding. South Africa beat West Indies yesterday, and look, commendable to South Africa, but they're not going to go through. Very likely that England will play. We're all thinking Sri Lanka or Australia. I don't know whether Australia can be so certain. Well, they've had the first win against South Africa. Let's see how Australia go against Sri Lanka. Now, that's a pretty significant match. It's going to be, that's the first game tomorrow. It's going to be a very significant match for both teams, because if Sri Lanka can towel up Australia, well, then that puts them in the box set to go through. That means they would have had 2 wins. Australia would have had 1 loss. So it's an interesting sort of thing. So Terence Aldrin's asking which teams will make it to the semi-finals. As far as I'm concerned, England will top Group 1. They look like they're playing that confidently. And Pakistan will top Group 2. And you would still think that India, as long as they beat New Zealand next match, will go through to the other semi-final berth. And then you'll have either Sri Lanka or Australia as the other semi-finals. So we expected much. That was right. We expected a lot from the West Indies. They haven't produced so far, and they're running out of time. They have to win all the rest of their matches, and everything goes their way. So the South African geopolitical issue is multi-layered. We know that it's not just about Black Lives Matter. It would be better off if they resolve it on their own, instead of poking our nose. That's true, but it's just going to implode. There's going to be very much a lull in South African cricket. I spoke to a man from South Africa today, and he's deeply worried about the future of South African cricket. Manoj on India in deep trouble. Well, no, they're not yet. They've only lost 1 game. If they win all the rest, they'll still make the semi-finals. And we would have to expect, if they don't beat New Zealand, it's going to make it harder. And New Zealand go on to win all the rest of their matches against lesser sides. Well, that means New Zealand will sneak through ahead of India, but it's unlikely. You would think India, I'm expecting to beat New Zealand. And I do think that Sri Lanka will beat Australia, and then that'll almost decide the semi-finals, because those teams go on to beat the lesser sides. That should be the makeup. India versus New Zealand is difficult for India. Well, it shouldn't be. A bit more context on BIM issue, on the Black Lives Matter issue. Well, this whole kneeling business, and I have to be honest, I'm not impressed by it at all. Looks like we've got partners about to join us. Yeah, I'm not impressed with the Black Lives Matter. It shouldn't be, whether you kneel or not, shouldn't be a reason to not play the next game. I find that bizarre. So Steve Maven has joined us from Rabbitohs TV, who he posted in his own, good day, Norman. What's doing, boys? I'm at work, can't come on tonight. How's the World Cup going? Well, at the moment, World Cup, Steve, Australia are doing okay. They won their first match. They're going to play Sri Lanka tomorrow. They must win that to have a chance in semi-finals. Pakistan are killing it. They've obviously beaten India and New Zealand, and they're playing lesser sides to go on with. So you would have to then think that we're looking at a situation where Pakistan will get in. And in the case of Parnas Saini. Hello.
Hello, how are you, Norman?
Good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Good to see you. So the game is on.
Well, England are unceremoniously smashing Bangladesh here, and puts England in a very strong position to win Group 1.
Mm-hmm.
They won their first 2 matches, as have Pakistan. And Pakistan, they played the most difficult team first, as in India. And they're playing New Zealand, which was second most difficult. Then they go to Afghanistan, they go to Namibia and Scotland. So the more Pakistan play, the more they're playing lesser sides. So, and you would argue that Group 2 is going to be led by Pakistan and Group 1 by England. which means India have to struggle through, but will probably get through in a semi-final position in Group 2. And
Yeah,
who's
but let's
going
not
to?
even talk about India. I'm still
Well, we
trying
have
to
to.
recover from that.
Yeah, it's pretty bad. Well,
Well,
Aparna and I are
Pakistan
going to
looks
be.
in good spot. I mean, this very beginning, I think we can say it's fair to say that this is another new year of T20 revolution. I mean, Pakistan. Who would say that they be able to beat India in? Yeah, I would say ease. I mean, it was amazing to see. Not
It's
as
the
a
first time they've beaten
Indian
them,
fan.
actually. Yeah, it's the first time they've beaten them in the World Cup.
Yes, history is made.
Oh yeah, and it's the surprising thought that I guess it's not surprising, but we're going to have a World Cup this time next year in Australia. The same T20 format. It just seems to be Jason Roy's just hit a 50. England are 1 for 101 after 11 overs, chasing 129. They're going to absolutely smack Bangladesh.
Oh, they wrapped it up. I mean, 23 runs in 49 balls is not a big thing for a team like England. I mean, they're in the tops, but India was in the tops too. But we weren't even discussing about Pakistan when we did say that India. We can see Australia maybe, but definitely West Indies, England, and New Zealand. I mean, I think the stats has changed, the prediction has changed, but England is still there. I mean, they have been one of the good uh, cricketing team in the world, and Bangladesh has got that talent, but obviously, um, you know what happens in selections, and you've been player manager of a lot of Bangladeshi players for women as well. So, Norman, you can tell a bit more
Yeah,
about that.
look, I can't understand why Bangladesh are not doing well because they did very well in the lead-up tournaments. Admittedly, it was in their home against the likes of Australia and New Zealand. They beat them both. But I think you'll find that Bangladesh is just not. There's lacking a bit of cohesion at the moment. They may still come good, but they won't make the semis. We're getting some questions there from Baram Marani's joined us, of course. Munchie's there. Steve Maven, the Rabbitohs TV ex-South player, is actually at work, and he's saying, "How did India not take a wicket?" It's a great question. It's a bit of a surprise. But look, Rizwan and Baba Azam played so well; they kept them out. Look, there's little doubt. I mean, Munchie's talking about that. England haven't even played the lesser sides. That's true. England have played West Indies and Bangladesh, who were supposed to be stronger. England have to play Sri Lanka, though, and they're going to play Australia. But look, England have, unless something dramatic happens, they're going to win their draw. They've just hit another 6. My God, it's 110. Yeah, 110 after 12 overs, chasing 129.
Yeah, I think similar thing happened with India as well. I mean, India did not score that well for a World Cup sort of a tournament. I mean, it's T20.
Yeah.
You have to win, and the batters didn't perform. They were out for single digits, and if you don't put a big score out there, it boosts the confidence of the other uh, team who's coming out there to bat next. And obviously that's why we were not able to take the wicket, because they knew that what good job they've already done in part one of
Yep.
the game. The part two is like you have given your confidence away, but no matter what we say, I mean, those two players were, Pakistan is a strong team,
They
and
have
first time the
they're,
history is
they're
made, and
well
they might as
coached.
well.
Well coached. They really are well coached. I mean, they had Matthew Hayden there, and they had Vernon Philander as well, and they both played well on their own rights. They're great batter and bowling coaches, as far as I'm concerned. And that's what I take of. But look, Pakistan know how to play well in World Cup tournaments. They know how to get their best out of their players. they're on home ground. The UAE is virtually a home ground. So Steve Mavis says Hayden must be a great batting coach. He's a great person, and I think his attitude. If you listen to the way he talks around the nets, he's always encouraging the Pakistani batsmen. Always encouraging. So is Philander, the South African bowling coach. He's always encouraging the players, and that's the mindset's important. In India, maybe they've been a bit too intense. Maybe there's expectations are through the roof. They had to be smacked a bit hard. They'll come back, and watch out for them. Steve Maven is saying hello to Aparna.
Hi, Steve. How are you? I mean, it's an unfortunate that you're at work. Otherwise, you could have joined us. Would love to see you in the broadcast.
Can't Steve run out the back of his into the toilet shed of the stevedorian job and I can't do this? I reckon he could. Munchie's here. Bangladesh chose to bat straight again. It was a mind-blowingly strange decision why Bangladesh would choose to bat first. Bangladesh should have sent England and put them under pressure and then being able to judge their score. Everyone has won the toss and bowl. Everyone has. Why would you change that? It's dumb. Every team that's bowled first have virtually won their matches. And it just doesn't make any sense. I don't know. We'll wait and see, but I think you'd have to argue that Bangladesh have gone now. If they lose this, they've lost 2 in a row. You really need to win 4 matches out of your 5 to get through, because England are going to be probably they're going to win all games. I think they'll beat Australia convincingly as well. I think
That's a very strange comment. Why would you say that?
No, it's not. England are a much better side. I think the big test will be Australia tomorrow when they play Sri Lanka. If Sri Lanka beat them, they're gone. But if they beat Sri Lanka, they've got a chance of getting in.
I think they should be able to. Wouldn't you say that? I mean, Sri Lanka is a good team, but Australia, I think we're underestimating them there a bit.
Well, Dave Warner come out saying, I've just posted, everyone, please watch the Dave Warner video. He said in his media conference, he doesn't think he's in bad form. And he actually said that he allowed younger Indian players to play in the IPL and give himself a break. That's the biggest load of rubbish. He was dropped. He's the most well-paid player in Sunrisers Hyderabad. Why would he be resting himself? They need to win games. They were losing terribly. He wasn't. The audacity that he said that he actually rested himself. Oh, what a load of rubbish.
Well, what do you think? What's the reason behind it?
The first game he didn't announce 4 debutants. Trevor Bales got the jack of it and then stood him down. Then he came back for a game, got 2 and a 5, got dropped again. There's nothing based on him giving himself a rest. What is he? What's he playing for?
I think when he said that, the sound of it was too good to not go out there in the media and use it, probably. But any which way, I mean, there's other players out there, and Australia maybe, be able to come good. You never know. So let's not lose hope.
You never know. But they're going to have
if Pakistan has come out the way they have, I mean, against India, I think anything is possible, and that's what makes this tournament so exciting.
Fair enough. But I just can't help but see that Australia struggled against the South African side. They just beat them. They have to pick their game up enormously. They are going to play against the Sri Lanka side. They look pretty damn good. And I would argue, I would say we're going to see that's a test. That's going to be a test. That's only on tomorrow. We'll wait and see about that one.
It's not too far. And then we've also got Bangladesh and West Indies. I mean, Bangladesh against West Indies after losing this one, that would be very hard for them. So I think Bangladesh, with this match, they can see the trophy for this T20 World Cup going away slowly as we speak. I mean, I think it's a wrap up for them. for a huge amount of percentage.
I mean, the team that we've got to be no one talks about them is Afghanistan. They're a smoky. It wouldn't be for that they have to beat India to get through, but that's the issue. So Steve Amos says the Aussies have plenty of talent. Well, talent doesn't always win your matches if you're mentally not there. They struggled against South Africa. They beat them, but they didn't have all their own way. Let's wait until they play Sri Lanka. Bangladesh is not playing well, but Australia have to beat some pretty good subcontinent sides to get through. And it does look like it's going to be between Sri Lanka and Australia for that other semi-final berth. West Indies are out of contention. South Africa, you would doubt for sure. All right, what have you been up to? You've got yourself a new phone, haven't you? You've got a clear screen. It looks beautiful.
Oh, and the voice quality too. I mean, it's been very difficult. But that was the excuse that I was using to not to come on your show. I was bored with you, Norman. No, I'm just joking. Well, anyway, not much. I mean, following up the match and was very disheartened after Pakistan won against India. So I was hiding. So yeah, you can say that.
Well, Hardik Pandya shouldn't be in the side.
Like, oh no, I'm gonna hide my face.
If you can't have a player that's supposedly an all-rounder not bowling a delivery, and they're holding him back. But for what? They can't hold him back any longer. Shardul Thakur should come into the side for India, I would say, and they're going to have to get Ishan Kishan in that side as well.
Oh, but that's one of the journalists out there, I think, asked that question to Virat Kohli. I mean, that was level of stupidity. But that's how Indian media sometimes get too emotional, and out of those emotions, that sort of questions comes up, and it's just let's hold back our emotions. And it's only the first match. I mean, we can't just deny the fact that India can still come back.
Match, right.
And sometimes it's good, when you lose a match and that badly, which was it's a very important match. I think it might put their mindset in a better place, and they hopefully use it in the benefit for the rest of the tournament and go for the win.
Yeah. Jason Roy just got out. He's on 61, so they've got Johnny Bairstow in there now, and they're 2 for 121. They've only got to get 8 more runs. So I think 8 or 9. No, in fact, it's less than that. They only need 4 runs, and they got to win this match. It'll be a very, very early finish there. And look, England are through. They haven't played the hardest teams yet, but they're still winning by. Now, there's a good thing that Baram Marani's just brought up. Shoaib Akhtar live on TV just was arguing with some other doctor fellow who's apparently a Pakistan media personality, and got the shits basically, and said, "I'm quitting," and he quit on air. I reckon that was a stunt. He had Viv Richardson and David Gower sitting next to him. I reckon it was a stunt.
I think it's a publicity stunt.
I reckon it was a stunt.
Yeah, but bizarre. It's weirdly bizarre fashion the way he did play that. I mean, what do you think, Robin?
What? Who cares if he quits from some lame TV show when he's not really only working there? He's got about 10 other jobs he does. It's not. It was, and then he has a talk after it why he did it. Look, he was a lame reason all around. It was very. Michael Vaughan carries on for England. I think Shoaib Akhtar, they're only after ratings for his own YouTube channel.
Yeah, but here we are talking about it. So he's not, I'm saying we're big thing, but I think everyone would be. So he's getting what he wanted. It was a publicity stunt. And you know what? Well planned and executed. It's just what he wants.
Yeah. So no, I did cover the Pakistan match. What are you talking about? I was live for almost all of both matches. Okay, Baram agree that anchor should not do that in national television like that. Yeah, but look, the anchor shouldn't. He was a bit of a goose himself. I don't think, but it's just Shoaib Akhtar has about a dozen shows. if he resigns from one or spits a dummy one, who cares? Really?
Mm.
Don't forget, Pakistan's got a population of 222 million or something. Ridiculously big population, so there's no issue there. Yeah, looks like England have they just won? Yeah, they have won. They've won easily. They won too easily. Darwin Milan on out 28. They've won by some 6 or 7 overs to spare. Awful.
Oh, well, I mean, let's talk about Scotland as well. And I think they're playing today at Sydney time, that's 1 a.m. Scotland and Namibia. Namibia. I've never thought that, after I think 2019 it was, World Cup, when I think they nearly qualified, Scotland. Finally, they've really come good in this one. So, what's your call on
They
this?
won their qualifier as well, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we talk about all these other teams, but you never know. I mean, there's some good new upcoming teams, Scotland and
Barama only wants to come on the show in a short while and quit, and then join back a week later. How's that? Baram, come on and spit the dummy. Baram, come on, I'll say you look like a fool, and I'll say something to you, and you can get upset, and you can throw something down. We can make that a big drama.
I think we had a little bit of that on this show before.
I have had a few spits. I've had some pretty big spits with a certain music guy who was claiming to be an expert, and he got on my skin a little bit. I had a go. We've also had drama with our
I missed
friend.
that one then.
You missed that one. You did. I blew up. I absolutely blew up.
Wow.
Also, you've got to
I
see
thought
it.
we were talking about that one that I was there, and my reaction was like, I don't know what reaction to give, so I just pretended I did not hear.
Are you saying you spat the dummy, or did you spit that? You mean the time with good old Alan Mullally?
Yeah. Like, I don't know what's going on. I don't speak English.
No, you didn't. You didn't see the one. Another guy, I'm not going to mention his name, kept on annoying me, and I said he just basically was, saying everything was wrong, and I was saying, and it got to my point. I said, "Well, okay, then who invited you on the show?" Blah blah blah. I got stuck in it with. So,
Wow.
No. Unfortunately, he hasn't come back on since. So, Munchie, Namibia are much stronger with ex-South African David Weiss now on the squad. Oh, here we go, Munchie. Are you going to claim it's a half South African side? Well, David Weiss, he did play well, but I actually think that I think they're going to win today. England have smashed both the West Indies and Bangladesh. Really smashed them. Oh boy. So what's your predictions of the semi-finals, apart?
I think I'll hold off for a couple of days. I'm still recovering from, anything is expected. Like, seriously, I mean, COVID must have done something in the air. What I've seen, I just can't still fathom it, because it was not just a win for Pakistan and a loss for India, but it was pretty embarrassing the way it went.
But I think we're lucky that that was the first game they played, because it certainly allows India to sort of fight back now. But they've had to almost wait a week until I think their next game is on Sunday, which is virtually a week. That's a pretty long time to wait for your second match.
Would they probably need that?
Yeah,
I mean,
probably.
that's what I'm saying. I'm in shock, and they would be more surprised with what went on the field. I mean, they had a first-hand experience. So yeah, I'll hold on for that. I won't give my prediction just yet, but I'll definitely do that.
Well,
in a couple of days.
Played New Zealand. India played New Zealand next, and both teams have lost their first match to Pakistan. So it's a really intriguing situation, I'll tell you.
I think Pakistan is a big threat to all other teams as well this season.
So Barama is going to come on soap opera style. All right, Barama, I want you to come on. Come on the show, and I'll say you were late. Oh, we've lost the par. Kishab Chowdhury says India, Pakistan, England, Australia will be qualified. Okay, well, it does look like India, Pakistan, England are through. Australia's, I'm not convinced just yet. They're deserved to win the semi-finals, put it that way. We'll see how they go. Maybe thanks to David Weiss. David Weiss seems to be getting all the credit. Well, good on him. You know. So England won by really a landslide, 8 wickets. It's quite disturbing, actually. How many wickets England won by? Very, very convincing indeed. They look really good. If Vera there in place of Shaw would have called him Ben Stokes and okay. COVID and India caused some interesting ructions. Spider and the F-bomb. Yes. Once you're right. Shab Afghar, he's just basically doing it for a bit of showtime. Like Chloe and Norman, just indicating why they're out there stranger. Okay. South Africa, the dark horse, probably okay. Here they are. No, they're not there. They're not going to have hands. No way. New variants coming out. What new variants are coming out, Baran? Arani, what are you talking about? Don't say that. Are you going to create this new variant? Maybe is that what you're saying? I reckon that's what you're doing. All right, so England unceremoniously dumped. Doubtful now. Not a single player looked good for India. Well, that's a bit hard to say. It's a bit rash. Afghanistan could be they certainly comes up here. So Zezun Islam. Pakistan has taken 18 overs to chase 151 with 10 wickets in hand. So it's not embarrassing like England. Yeah, that's true. Do more coverage on your own, Aparna, and give your own insights on the game. Will be awesome to hear. Abhinand Banerjee is a fan of Aparna. Well, she's when she has time, she'll do as much as she can. She's certainly. This is actually a so-called what do you call this? Is like a laptop charger. Give me 2 minutes. So Aparna's done everything right, but her laptop's not charged up. Jesus, she's hopeless. Women are hopeless. Do more. Okay. Today is Irfan's birthday. I think you should post your pic with him again. What are you saying? No, I won't bother. But it's Dave Warner's birthday as well. Can't keep posting posts all the time, guys. They're the same thing. So England winning by 8 wickets. They beat the West Indies by a landslide. They'll play Australia. They beat. I'm expecting them to beat Australia quite handsomely, to be honest. I think there's a very good opportunity that they can give them a nice old belting. That could be quite embarrassing for Australia. Australia yet to really be challenged. And you would think that there'd be a big chance of some quite disturbing performances there. But look, I'm looking at the sides here. Part of leaving us like New Zealand left Pakistan. She hasn't left us. She has a battery charger. She's got to charge her laptop battery. She's using that in conjunction with her phone. And that's a bit disturbing. And the phone's just clogged up. But there's no doubt Australia, everyone with a chance now because West Indies are faltering. That was probably the other opportunity. It's going to be between Sri Lanka and Australia. If Australia beats Sri Lanka, that will be a step in the direction for them to make the semis, to be honest. Big step. Let's hope. Apparently will be back in a second, guys. What am I after? I'm looking at. So Australia have to bring their A game. They do. Aparna has 1,001 issues, battery, phone, charger, as she does. She got a brand new phone. and should be all guns blazing within the laptop's character. I can't. She's an IT person. Jesus. The Shah Bakhtar scenario really, I mean, this doctor, whoever he is, I don't know who he is, guys. After this kind of performance, do you think teams will make a tour of Pakistan in the future and not give security issues? Well, they deserve to be travelled to. They certainly do. They certainly do. There's a lot of positives there. I'm just trying to work out how to post this. There we are. So England win by 8 wickets. They really played a very poor West Indies side and a very poor Pakistan side. After that kind of performance, do you think teams will make a tour? I've already talked about that. I think they all want to be able to tour. Hasn't happened yet. So guys, it's way past my bedtime. We're getting a toss in 15 minutes' time of the Namibia versus Scotland game. Now what happened?
Well, you suck the energy out of my devices. Why do you do this? You've been yawning the whole time. That's why you suck the energy out of
me. Do you want me to quit? I'll do a Shah Bakhtar. I'll do an Inzamam Al-Haq. I'll do a Alam Alali.
Ooh, what's that?
What noise is that?
What?
Blame Baram. I'm blaming Baram because it is technically Baram Arani. The whole thing is missed it. Heil. Manas. No, all you missed is an earthquake in the partner's place. The laptops. What's making that noise?
I'm not sure.
We've lost a partner again. I do not know what she does with her bloody thing. She should not be losing. She's got a new iPhone. Okay, so she's back. Are you having
Well, I think it's you who's doing it because my devices don't behave every time I'm on the show with you. Otherwise, it behaves perfectly fine. So you can't blame them.
You are
Stop
just an
yawning.
IT. You are an IT buffoon. You have stuffed things up. You aren't worthy of the title of an IT expert.
Well, I think we've been talking about that and you're whinging about it. My IT skills is getting difficult to get a job.
just blame Baram. Baram's there in the Philippines pulling out plugs. It must be Baram.
Well, you know what? I'm going to use my law skills to sue you, and we can do that on live air.
So why don't you just use your iPhone and plug it in and start? Why do you need to use your laptop?
Because it's a small screen. I don't know how. You've got 2 screens going on. I mean, 2 phones, haven't you?
Yeah, but it's just one phone I'm using.
Right now? How do you take photos then? Oh, okay. Well, you read it through that. I read it to the other one. It's so hard if you're on air.
I used to have the phone just to take the photographs.
Right. So how do you read the comments?
On the one screen.
Same screen? You must have a big phone.
No, I don't have a big phone.
Or my eyesight is something to blame then.
Yeah, well, there's something wrong with you. Let's talk cricket, Baram's ask us. All right.
Well, so, Viramanari said, blame me, wink. So I winked back for him. She uses laptop because she be fancy like that. Oh my God, who is this?
Look, England is certainly going to be. England have just won by a canter. Okay, they've just won with the greatest of ease. They're on 4 points now. They're playing against really. They'll be playing against Scotland and Namibia, won't they? So no, actually, that's not true. What am I saying? They're not playing either. So they're going to play Sri Lanka and they're going to play Australia. They've already beaten Bangladesh and they've beaten the West Indies and Bangladesh now. They've got to play Australia and Sri Lanka, and the other side they're playing against is Bangladesh, which they played. Who's the other side? There's five. Who are the 5 teams? There's England, West Indies, South Africa, Bangladesh, and Sri Lanka. So England have played West Indies and Bangladesh. So they're going to play Sri Lanka, South Africa, and Australia. They're going to beat South Africa, that is England, easily. And they'll give Australia a good run, and they'll probably beat Australia. Really, it doesn't leave much else to go except for Scotland, and they're going to beat them as well. So really, England could well go through 5-love, as will probably Pakistan, which means England and Pakistan are almost favourites to make the final, really. I'm getting a strong feeling. Unless India can get their act together, which they should do, India's the only team that can get in the way of England and Pakistan at the moment. Whether it's Australia or Sri Lanka, they've got to hope.
Oh, really? What have you got against Australia? I mean, they might deport you from your own country if you keep talking like
I've
that.
got nothing against Australia, but when Dave Warner says that he gave the blokes a go in the IPL, it's a load of crap. He was sacked twice because of his form and because of his attitude. Where does he lie so much from?
Yeah,
Let's talk
well,
about
we
how
can
Baran
say that,
thinks.
but you know what? There's other players as well, like Pat Cummins and Hazelwood, Steve Smith. We've got Zampa, the new talent that we saw not long ago, and he's been really good. So yeah,
But they haven't.
don't
Yeah,
lose
but
hope,
hang on,
Mohammed.
they struggled to beat South Africa. They struggled to beat South Africa, and South Africa.
Oh yeah, no,
Damn,
I
leave
know.
Warner. He has a family. Leave Warner at home. He has a family. What do you mean? Well, he's got a family. He's also got $40 million plus. He can sit back and do nothing for the rest of his life. What are you talking about?
He's got a family. Well, everyone has their different opinions on, but overall, I think, Norman, you have to stick up for Australia.
Well,
a little bit.
Okay. Now, considering they've got Glenn Maxwell, he's good form. Otherwise, in the batting, I can't even begin to think of another person that can stand up. Then they've got bowlers there. Hazelwood certainly looks good. Smith can't bowl, but Stark and Cummins will be there in favour. But it seems like absolute pace doesn't work on these grounds, unless you're Harris Ralph. But Harris Ralph bowled some great deliveries. It wasn't just a fluke with him. Now,
So, what's your prediction for Australia and Sri Lanka? I mean, that's
honestly. Well, I had Simon Wilson on the show yesterday. Okay, good old Simon.
Yeah,
and he talked about in depth the various Sri Lankan players, especially the young guys coming through, and how they were found and how they developed. He's very, very happy, very, very impressed. In fact, Simon Willis, from the very get-go, predicted Pakistan would win the whole thing.
Wow.
So he's well aware of squads and balances of squads, and he thinks Sri Lanka's young guys are going to, especially with the spin bowling unit, they're going to give Australia a bit of a shellacking tomorrow. We'll see. I wouldn't doubt it.
Sri Lanka has, they built that nice momentum as compared to Australia. That is.
Yeah, well, they won all their qualifiers, and they won their first match, and did win it very well against Bangladesh. So you'd say that they're in with a good chance of beating Australia, which is interesting.
Yeah, but Australia was, excellent with the ball in the field against even, South Africa, and then that must have given them some sort of hopes. So you might as well. I mean, it'd be a good match to watch, definitely, and things can change. But Sri Lanka is obviously in the favorite. has
Well, they've
been.
become, yeah, absolutely. And Australia, well, look, I could be saying correctly, but I don't think I'm going to be. I think I'm going to have pretty good evidence to say that they won't win. But the Sri Lanka match is the most important because if they don't beat Sri Lanka, they're out almost certainly. If Sri Lanka win, that puts Sri Lanka in the box seat.
Yeah.
Because Australia
That's
haven't
going to be an
played.
important one.
Australia hasn't played England yet. That's going to be a hard match. They haven't played Sri Lanka. Well, they're about to play Sri Lanka. They've really got some stiff opposition. And we're forgetting Afghanistan. Well, are they playing Afghanistan now? What's the pool? You got England, South Africa, Australia, and West Indies. No, they're in the other pool, Afghanistan. But yeah, the West Indies was a cakewalk for England. They've just beaten Bangladesh. So they beat one of the better sides, like in Australia, or that'll be the big test for them. Okay.
True. I
Steve
agree
Smith
with
will
you.
score 99 not out tomorrow in 20 overs. Well, all I know is Australia. Sorry, New South Wales has had a very good score. New South Wales got a very good score in the match against Victoria today. Did you see? Well, at least the score was very much in New South Wales' favour. Sean Abbott took 6 wickets. He looked very good. That was at Drummoyne Oval, by the way. I happened to go past that at some stage today.
Oh, wow.
Yeah,
Well,
and Nathan
not
Lyons.
far from my place.
Drummoyne Oval? I guess not.
Yeah, you can always get there.
It's close enough. But yeah, New South Wales played Victoria. They looked pretty sound. It was
We've got some memories with Drummond Oval. No.
I do.
You
Many?
do. Look at that expression.
Oh, yeah.
We'll leave it. I don't know. We'll leave it at that.
Oh, okay.
Oh my God. Come on.
Oh no, you have got some.
I got Norman Kochneck 2 minutes of that silence on his own show. That has been a moment. Look at his expressions. That's amazing.
I remember a certain Kuldeep Yadav talking to a certain opponent, saying he threw the nets and getting in trouble for being so talkative. Manus Darwin has said a few times that Steve Smith will score 99 runs tomorrow in 20 overs. I don't think so.
Yeah.
But this is a better point. Sagar brings up when Australia bats, the pitch looks as if it's difficult to bat on. Lucifer Johnson, stop asking my age. I'm going to spit my dummy. Stop asking my age.
Well, he got his hairs covered, so you can guess the age. And now clean shave.
He's got a name.
You have to serve Norman's photos back when the barber shops are shut and he hadn't. He was looking like a Santa Claus. You probably might be able to guess his age.
Yeah. Well, it's Dave Warner's birthday today. He's 35. Rangers.
And so is Norman.
Doctor, what was the name of it? Doctor, is the name here? Doctor Rumad Gout, Cricket Mind World Kick Cricket. What the hell are you talking about? That's all. When Maxwell bats versus Rashid Khan, he makes tough pitch look flat. Yeah, okay. Abhinandan Banerjee, lovely smile upon it. Ooh.
Oh, thank you,
I'm jealous.
Abhinandan.
Norman was 103. Barama running, would you shut the hell up? I'm not 103. You come on the show, you're going to be chastised.
Yeah, it's 101, please.
I've been to 103 countries and traveling. I'm not 103 years old. You goose.
Yeah, every year one country.
What?
I've been every year one country. So you've just confirmed that he wasn't lying.
103 pounds is pretty close. UAE World Cup is boring. Next year's World Cup is so Russell Hassan says it's boring in UAE and exciting in Australia. Well, let's see. 103 pounds. Oh my God, Manus to Ireland, get out of here. Well, come on, Air Munners. We'll see how much you weigh. I'm waiting for Brahma. I want to blow up. I want to get upset at him. He's upset me today. Brahma
Well,
only
Norman's looking for
commented.
some publicity stunt today. I mean,
Actually, did I tell you what happened to me today? I was in of all places, Wahroonga, and I was I parked my car, had a coffee, went and threw something in the bin, went back towards the car, and this bloody hire car tries to park in the spot, and I didn't get out of the way quick enough, so he went faster towards me, almost knocked me off my legs, and screamed out "idiot!" And then he bipped his horn, and I've got really upset. I said, "Who the hell are you? Think you are?" I went up to his window, and then we had almost a bit of road rage, and he started to swear and say he said I was fat. I thought, you bastard. And then he wanted to fight me. Mind you, when he got out of the car, he was 4'0", bald head. And I said, what are you going to fight around in a paper bag? And I laughed and walked off. Anyway, Norman, bring Beram to the stream. I want to see Papana roast Beram. Yeah, we'll bring Beram in a minute. Norman, bring Beram. Okay.
when did I do that last? Like,
Well, you're due now to do it.
some interesting comments going on there.
Harris Ralph has just tweeted, Team Green effectively lived up to the expectations of the Brazilians. He didn't write this. That's not his language skills. He doesn't speak English that well. He wouldn't have the ability to write that. All right. Hira Bawad, hi GI. Shab is overconfident, always cries for a job with a piece of it. Well, that's fair enough. Hi, Norman. You didn't answer my question. Will Josh Ingles play instead of Wade tomorrow? I hope he does. It doesn't look like he is. It doesn't look like he is.
Yeah, I think so too. I think he won't. But no. Yeah.
He should be there, but he's not. Okay. Hamas Dawan, in whose place would you Ferguson have played if been fit? Well, he scored 35 and he scores in 30s and 40s. Bukowski, out for Bukowski, it would be Warner playing with Callum Ferguson, but it shouldn't be a matter of him batting in any position. If he's good enough a player, he can bat low in the order and get the run. So that's what I would say. And whose place would Ferguson have been they've been full strength? Probably one of the halves or the 5'8", or maybe a lock or centre. Could be a number of people. New Zealand only departure also only depends on Conway. Yeah, fair enough. But then, quite a few players can bat well. What are the names of the players?
What's the name of the players?
No, I'm thinking of the New Zealand side. They've got Kane Williamson. They can't be knocked. It's not just Conway is playing well. There's a few more there. Thank you, Pan Norman. You guys are doing great. Keep it up. Thank you, Ranger.
Norman, thank England, you, Ranger. What's your real name?
He's a Ranger, over and out.
All right, well.
Can it be an England-India final? It can be an England-India final, but that means that, no, it won't be an England-India final. It can't be because if Pakistan win their group and England win their group, then India will be always the second best in the two groups. So they'll play opposites. They'll play England in the semi-final. England will play India in the semi-final, it looks like. And then the winner will play probably Pakistan.
We'll see. I mean, let's not predict. I mean, we've seen something. What happened with the Indian team? So let them get their heads straight. I mean, semi-final, let's leave it at that. What I've seen, I think a lot of people would be shocked. Or if they're not, what's wrong with you guys?
India can't afford to lose any more matches, actually.
Exactly. Very true. And I hope they don't.
Well, okay, the toss should be here for this game between Namibia and, let me have a look. Namibia and Scotland. Let's have a look. It's funny, they don't seem to throw the toss out there for the second match. Namibia's captain Gerhard Erasmus. No toss yet. But Namibia versus Scotland, it's Namibia's first ever World Cup match. In not the qualifiers, but the real Super 12 tournament. So that's a big deal. Namibia have won the toss and have chosen to bowl, which is a clever move. They give them a reasonable chance of winning if they play well. So there we have it. Namibia. Tell me about Namibia. What do you know about Namibia? Apart as a country.
Not a very great deal, but Scotland, yeah. I really haven't heard about them not long ago. You would not know Norman either, did you? Are you trying to make me look stupid?
No.
I think Norman is the one he's like, I'll ask this question, I'll throw it in the air, and then I'll Google it quickly while it gives him time to think.
Namibia was
what do you know about Namibia?
Namibia was a German colony. Okay.
Oh.
And Windhoek is a place there, and it's a pretty primitive sort of place. It's not exactly what you would call Dankeschön, yeah. A part of the legend cricketers. A part of the legend cricketers? A part is a legend cricketer. She can play tennis, though.
Oh. Norman, have you seen me with the bat?
Norman likes to put people on the spot. Journalists, well, come on, Namibia is an African country to the west of both South Africa and Botswana. It has a population of I don't know, but it does have a connection to Germany, even though it's fully separate now. Namibia it used to be called. Oh, can you Google what? Have you got Google there?
No, I don't Google things.
Oh, you don't. I'm going to just Google.
He's trying to prove a point here. Norman, I know your tricks. I know you too well. You've forgotten or what? Anyway, well, let Norman Google because journalist 101 doesn't know oneself. He threw the question away on me. But
okay, so Namibia is
Norman got German background, so he might be able to tell you a bit better. But it's surprisingly you don't know Norman. What's wrong with you?
What's the name? I'll give you $1 million upon in cash if you can tell me the president of Namibia. Why are you putting yourself on Think Tank? His name's a classic. Hage Geingob.
Oh my God.
So they got a population of 2.5 million. So they got a country in the southwest of Africa.
It's distinguished by the Hage Godfred Gengo. Hage Godfred Gengo.
We've got a lot of cheetahs there.
All right. On that note, I'm going to bed. Too late.
You're going to bed.
Yes, I'm not playing any rapid fire rounds on general knowledge questions.
All right. Well, just
all right. Well, good to see everyone today in the show. Thank you very much.
What you got a job for me to do, a certain 150.
Yes. Oh, are you serious?
So I want 300 actually.
What?
You know what I want.
Oh, girls.
Have you started? Oh, girls.
What do you want? Oh, what? You want me to go and... Oh, my God. Norman's been wanting for Indian sweets. So he wants 300 in quantity. I mean, I can't make that many. Sorry, Norman. All right, we'll leave on that. Norman, you got to put the camera down. Everyone needs to say, you got to stop eating sweets. So cute. Anyway, it's good to see you. Lovely to do our little banter on the show as well. And we'll see you tomorrow probably.
Hang on, just 2 seconds. Hang on. Brown Ronnie's coming on for a minute.
Hi, Norman. Hi, Aparna.
I'm
Hello.
not happy with you. Get off my show.
You need to tell sorry
I'm not
to me.
happy with you. I'll get off the show.
You need to tell sorry with
let's go.
That was quick.
Damn it, I missed that. That's all right. Okay.
But Norman,
All
you
right,
need to tell sorry. You need to tell sorry to me.
Barabarani, you don't know a thing about cricket. You are in the Philippines. You got your washing behind you. You're washing behind you. What is it, Halloween? Or what is
Norman,
it?
you are an Australian who don't support Australia. How do you call yourself an Australian? You should tell sorry.
Well, I should support Namibia because I got part German, so they're part German. So there you go.
Namibia.
What do you got? Have you got cobwebs in the back of your behind
Yeah,
you?
my son does this decoration. Actually, I'm sitting in the place where he has his online class. So, so they had a Halloween theme today. So, unfortunately, the theme did not come out.
Now, there's a comment there saying Brahma's cursed. He got rid of a part. Oh, God. Well, what do you think is going to happen to this game?
Which game? Namibia, Scotland?
Yeah.
I think Namibia. But I am waiting for Sunday. Norman, like looking at the India's, I don't know, the team combination and this basically this is a do or die. I hope India is Indian team and the players are very clear on it, and they're getting a good break also. That if they lose, they're out. Basically, whoever team loses is out. If New Zealand lose, they're out. India lose, they're out.
Yeah, I mean, realistically, you'd have to think that New Zealand, against India versus New Zealand, India have to win.
Yeah, I know, but given the form of the players, especially the middle four of India, and if they're still going to play with Bhuvaneshwar, Hardik who's not going to bowl, Bhuvaneshwar who looked completely out of touch in the IPL, completely out of touch in the first match. First match also, the most weird decision I found was giving the first over to Bhuvaneshwar when logically it should have been Bumrah, your main strike bowler. This was exactly the same which happened even in the test match that we lost, where a new ball or after a session, the first over has been given to Ishant Sharma, where Bumrah is your strike. Means sometimes I don't know this captaincy or the logic which was happening in the Indian team is very hard to define.
Look, first and foremost, Hardik Pandya has to be considered out of the team. Then you'd have to consider putting Ishant Sharma in the team. Really, there's some changes that need to happen, I think. They're going to make it they need to get more wickets in their bowling department. So they've got to consider what they're doing wrong there. It's very messy, isn't it, really?
I know it's a difficult choice to make, but Norman, like what I'm saying that you have really players who are in star form right now, whereas you're taking players who are, you feel, yes, they are good. I'm not in no way saying that, but they are right now in a very average state or level, or given this tournament where you can just afford to lose one match. I don't know how long you can. Maybe if India would have had their first match against Namibia or Scotland, who knows? That might have helped pull. But having your first match with Pakistan, then New Zealand, then Afghanistan, in that way, then you need to have your best foot forward.
But the draws, I mean, the draws and the way the matches went was not they can't change it. It was always the way it was meant to be. I mean,
yeah, correct. See, I was hoping that Pandya would be injured, but what I understand that Pandya is fit to play, and where Kohli is saying that
we should bowl. If he's fit to play, he should bowl, and then that's it. If he's not bowling, then they're keeping him for the semi-finals. That's a lot of rubbish. That's a lot of rubbish. They got better players in there at the moment with Ishant Sharma. He deserves to be there.
If I agree with Jason, I would completely agree. In fact, I would get in like Shardul in place of Bhuvaneshwar. Get
No, replacing
Ishan Kishan
Hardik.
in place of Hardik Pandya and put Ishan Kishan at top and maybe get KL Rahul in his place. Like KL Rahul after Virat Kohli, something like that. I don't know if that, because Ishan Kishan taking him and putting at number 5 won't make sense. So I know this would be a lot of chopping and changing, but the current team doesn't look like it will do the job. Honestly, I have my high doubts looking at where they were completely lackluster performance against Pakistan. I have my doubts against New Zealand.
There's a lot of discussion
I
about
won't be
whether.
surprised if India lose also. I mean, right now, if you ask me, I'm 50-50.
Well, if India get beaten by New Zealand, that's it. They're gone.
Yeah,
You'd
they're
have to
gone.
say. It's disturbing, isn't it? After all the high
bowling,
expectations.
somehow the batting did well, got to a good score. Kohli played that anchor kind of a role. Somehow the batting came, they got to a good score. But then the bowling completely lacked any kind of intent at all. Means they were not looking to take wickets at all. It's like
No,
I
they
don't know.
bowled very poorly. There was
And
even
right from
suggestions
the
that was.
opening, I means really I thought that Bumrah would open and seeing Bhuvaneshwar. Maybe they thought what the swing. Still, Bumrah actually got the third over. When the ball was hard and you did not have that due present. And Bhuvaneshwar's speed is also like what he bowls 120 with a plus of 10 or plus or minus of 20. So speed variation wise also. So if he's not hitting his line and length properly and not swinging, in no way is a bowler that can threaten any batsman.
So who would be in your 11? Go through your 11.
My 11 would be Rohit Sharma and Ishan Kishan opening. One down would be Virat Kohli. Number 4 would be Surya Kumar. Number 5 would be KL Rahul. Maybe this depend on the situation. We can see whom to take where. Then number 6 Pant. Number 7 Jadeja. Number 8 Shardul. Number 9 Varun Chakravarti bowled well except for his last over, so I will still keep Varun Chakravarti. Then number 10 Mohammad Shami. That also is honestly a doubt for me. Because his bowling was not good also. And then Bumrah. So that would be my team. But it looks, but looking at the current Indian team attitude or way Virat Kohli wants, he doesn't look like he's favoring a lot of changes. He wants to keep a team and stick to it.
I would say they need to find a place for Ashwin, especially against Australia. I've been able to screen capture us three together.
Amazing. Why was
Very
Aparna so much in a hurry? What happened to her? She's
Yes.
trying to. We are like north
She got
and
herself
south.
a new mobile
Magnet.
today, and she's quite happy about that. So she's been playing with that new mobile, and I don't know what she's doing.
I think she must be chatting a lot, so battery gets over when she wants to come on the show.
Partly true. She actually spent some time with me today. We went shopping, so yeah. I haven't seen her for a while.
I saw the modeling video. She was wearing the merchandise.
That's exactly what she did.
It looks like
she did
y'all had a fun date together.
Well, that was actually yesterday that we did that part.
Okay.
But today we met up again. I had a day where I met up with some very interesting people. Some people from a very interesting software company called Noix, N-A-U-X. It was quite interesting to hear what they had to say. I met up with Yashpal Erda, who runs a very famous restaurant here called Masala Theory. And I'm going to be doing something next week in a Kolkata Bollywood-style vehicle through the streets of Sydney, some famous spots, and take them to the restaurant. That's quite.
You should go to that Chatka's restaurant. Many Indians come there in Parramatta, right?
Yeah.
Have you been there?
Yes, I have.
Okay.
I like it.
Trollfail is telling me you should make Behram a model too.
Well, you're supposed to blow up and throw your bloody dummy down and walk out the door and say, I'm not coming again. And then the next day come up. That
mask is still here.
Shoaib Akhtar deliberately did what he did. Let's be honest.
I see. If you ask me, my opinion, Norman, it was not deliberate. They tried later on to, in fact, in the middle when that incident happened, when they came back, then they tried saying, "Oh, this was just a TRP stunt, and we were doing." And I think they agreed that Norman would, sorry, not Norman, Dr. Naumann.
What are you putting me? What are you blaming me for now?
No, Dr. Naumann would apologize, but when Shoaib Akhtar got up the point, Naumann did not apologize. So Shoaib Akhtar got pissed off that, it was agreed that he would apologize, but he did not. So then he decided and he left. So they were trying to pull it off as a, saying that, oh, this was just for TRP, we were just pulling leg and everything, but that's not what happened.
But look, Shoaib Akhtar did it deliberately for the press. This Dr. Naumann guy, who is he really? I mean, sorry, who is he really?
He's how can you say, something like a Boria Mujumdar. He's a Boria Mujumdar of Pakistan. But so he is actually a doctor. Doctor means a medical doctor, not a PhD. He is an MBBS normal doctor, but he's a very fond of cricket. He collects cricket memorabilia. He writes. I think he has written 4 or 5 books. So he has a lot of history of cricket of Pakistan, and that way he has made a name in and Rashid Latif is his very good friend. They are together with the show all the time. So they consider him like a cricket, you can say like a Boria Muzumdar and Vikrant Gupta combined of Pakistan.
Right. Okay. So don't you guys feel that the World Cup games are dependent on the toss? It certainly is. If you win the toss, you bowl first. It's very simple.
Especially the second match. The second match in the night, the second match which happens later in the night, there, so it's like you can clearly see the difference, which is actually not good for T20 or this World Cup.
No, but that's true. But just
yeah, let's see if this Afghanistan-Pakistan match happens, and let's see if Afghanistan bats second, what happens. Who knows? You might see a Afghanistan win over there.
Yeah, true. All right, what time we got now? We know that Namibia's won the toss.
Okay, I was not aware. They decided to bowl.
Correct.
Oh, they decided to field.
Don't say that.
Then I'll say that.
You say it. You can't say that.
I will say that, Norman.
You just.
I'll decide to field it.
Get that mask off before I get scared.
This is the latest thing going on.
Big news for Scotland is that there's Captain Kyle Kurtzer is out with a finger injury.
Oh.
Richie Barrington is serving as stand-in captain, saying Craig Wallace comes into the 11 as a wild unorthodox batting option. Matthew Cross will stay.
Recognize this mask.
Take that bloody hat off.
Even this one, my son was playing it.
Don't you scare me now. Stop it.
Yeah, but Halloween is coming, Robert. It's like this weekend.
When is Halloween? What day is Halloween?
I think this Sunday.
What's the date? 31st?
31st, yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, Trollface, I watched Squid Game. I watched it 2 months back when it was not even viral.
What?
Squid Game. It's a series in Netflix.
All right. Oh boy. Oh, how are we going with time?
To wear the mask. Which mask? The Squid Game mask or the ghost mask?
Where do you wear? Do you wear those masks only in Halloween, or do you wear it other stages of the year?
No. Only I got it for Halloween. So.
No, I reckon you wear it all year round. I reckon that's what you do.
Normally, this is just has come out very recent.
So there's the Namibia side unchanged, and Scotland's the one that's changed. I reckon Namibia's going to win this. What do you reckon?
I'll also go with Namibia since they are bowling first.
What?
Since they are bowling and fielding first.
Yeah. You generally bowl and you field first, correct. They're just bowling. The team fields around the bowling, but their main task is to bowl. All right, so we've got your prediction and why.
For what? Today's match.
Obviously, this match.
Namibia even before the toss, I would have said Namibia, and after the toss, I'm more convinced of Namibia.
Okay, so what? So you're not telling me you're more convinced of Namibia, therefore they're going to win?
Yeah, today's match.
Are they going to progress to the semi-finals?
Namibia, no.
Scotland. Scotland, how many games are they going to win, and how far are they going to? When are they going to go?
See, if Scotland loses today, I don't think they'll win any game.
No, you're right. What about Afghanistan? Oh, who else is in there? Bangladesh.
Afghanistan, Norman, it is India, Pakistan, Afghanistan, New Zealand, Scotland, and Namibia.
Yeah. I think England's still going to win. England's going to be top in this group. They're going to win. And they'll play probably Sri Lanka or Australia. The rest of the other three are not, or the four.
Right now, still Australia, Sri Lanka, and South Africa. All three have a chance of coming in second. West Indies is out.
Yep, they're gone. Absolutely.
I don't know. The first match they were playing as if it was a T10 match, and today's second match they played as if it was a test match.
Exactly.
Not
they
even
played some incredibly.
They played like a test match.
I mean, I understood they didn't lose the early wickets, but they didn't even go on with it when they had the opportunity. Gale looked rusty. Pollard looked rusty.
Kevin Lewis, he scored like 11 runs of 30 balls.
That was disgraceful. That was so disgraceful. He eventually gave his wicket away, but he should have done it earlier. Should have given his wicket away a lot earlier.
But all these players who are like 38 plus should retire. And West Indies will also not take them anymore. Anyone who's like 37, 38 and above. Makes no sense.
No, that doesn't make any sense. You're totally right. You're totally utterly right.
All right. What's your view on India New Zealand Sunday match? Norman.
I think India will win. New Zealand looked very ordinary yesterday, actually. Despite the fact that they played okay in the end, they still were very ordinary because Australia was well below par. Nobody really fired except for, one. They looked very ordinary. They struggled big time. They struggled immensely. So we've got 3 minutes to go. Namibia in the field. Scotland are batting. Scotland's lost their captain. It's looking like Namibia's going to win this. What do you think?
Dover, we already discussed this. Namibia will win.
But you can disagree with me and I can get angry and then you can storm off.
Okay, you want to do that? Yeah, maybe Scotland can win also, given that they have.
Of course they can win. Of course they can win. We know that. Of course they can win also. That's not saying anything new.
No, but they lost their player, right, due to finger injury.
The captain.
Yeah, the captain. So that can cause them to win the match.
So what's with the Scotland's change the captain's scoop? Yeah, the scoop is he hurt his finger. That's the only scoop. Maybe maybe he scooped the ice cream with the wrong finger. He should have used a spoon and he used his finger to have a bit of a lick on the ice cream, and he hurt his index. I don't know what finger he. Did he get rid of the? Did he do the bird wrongly? I'm not sure.
Which finger? So finger
They
on
didn't
the
say
hand,
which
right?
finger. Like, I'd say it was his bowling finger. His middle finger was used for other purposes, but it didn't work. Got stuck.
Maybe did not use the loop correctly.
Now, hang on, Baram, don't become someone who you
Don't
don't
become
want to
Alan Mulally.
be. Alan will come in a second and storm on and be angry with you. Okay, so we're getting close to a starting point. I'm going to finish the show very early tonight. I think the level of interest is not there, even though they're both very,
Yeah, today's day was very boring. Convincing one-sided win by England and not a majorly interesting match, mundane match right now.
Well, these two teams are not playing. They're not playing for semi-final berth, that's for sure.
Well, too early.
Really?
Norman, how can you say so early for sure? Namibia has not even played one game, and you're immediately writing them off.
Well, I'm not writing
Do
off.
you have any cricketing sense? Do you have any cricketing sense also?
No one's
Namibia
ever
has not played a single game. What if they win today and then win all their matches?
Well, then I'll buy you a Mercedes Benz, or if they win every game from now, okay? What are you going to buy me then?
I'll also buy a Mercedes Benz with a small toy. The 1:16 model.
The reality is Namibia, Scotland, I've got no hope of making the semi-finals. Nor are the West Indies, nor have, I'm afraid to say, teams like, I think South Africa. Realistically,
the biggest thing for them is maybe making an upset to one of the big teams. That would be a big.
But one upset's not good enough. One upset's not going to get you through.
But at least it gives you confidence and about the cricket and everything. Let's see, like Ireland, that was not able to qualify and they went out. That was really bad for the overall cricket in that country because who knows that it would really completely go down and stop it. So if let's say Namibia wins or causes an upset to any big team like India, Pakistan, or New Zealand, immediately the cricket, people will, for them, even winning one match would be a very big thing.
Yeah, true. Namibia, you can't get very excited about Namibia, let's be honest. Even though they've done okay, it doesn't excite me, let's be honest. I'm looking up the score as we speak now of this match.
I agree with Anuj Jingle also. Kohli's batting best and captaincy was keeping Bumrah for 20th gave away net run.
Well, George Munsey's already out. George Munsey's been out first ball. George Munsey's out by Trumpelman, and Scotland are already 1 wicket down for no runs. Talking about a horrible start.
Well, see, so Namibia will win all the matches, and who might know they will play against Australia in the semi-final, beat them, and then beat England in the finals.
Wishful thinking. Yeah, so this guy that's been dropped, one of his best friends is someone who I know is a Fijian flyer, as they call it. So McLeod is in. You wonder where these Callum McLeod is in now.
I have no idea of the players you are talking about. I mean, the only player I know is the Namibia David Weiser, who was the South African. Otherwise, I'm not making any efforts to use up my brain cells for the players of Scotland and Namibia. I want to keep them free for better things to do.
That's nasty. That's nasty. Well, the first run on the board is a leg side ball. Trumpelman.
You can't even pronounce tell their names. Why you want to remember them?
I'm not saying on.
Fuzzy
So,
is asking a comment. Can India beat Namibia? Who knows if after losing to New Zealand, this is what we'll have to be happy with. India beating Namibia.
well, Scotland are 1 for 1 in their first over. Adrian Holstock is the umpire. Never heard of him before.
Trollface, I'm a fan expert, I'm happy with the top 8 teams too. I don't want to go too depth.
Rod Tucker is Aussie. He's one of the one of the umpires. All right, but
How are you finding the umpiring in the Norman? What's your view? I'm somewhat it's average. I don't know, the quality of umpiring with the DRS has like gone down. You feel like that. Overall, yes, because of the DRS, at least there is no hula baloo about decisions or this and at least last 2 years we are not hearing that much because previously when this was out or this was not out. But let's see.
Look, I believe strongly in not having any other dismissals.
Namibia got the second wicket.
Tell you what, this guy's taken an edge. Trumpelman has just taken an edge. They've got Scotland are 2 for 2. Namibia are going to knock over Scotland.
I think Scotland is a team like where you improve your 100, make it 5, 6. No, seriously, all the teams like India, at least India, let's say if India wins, they have to seriously look at the beating Scotland and Namibia big, and maybe even Afghanistan.
Yeah.
So that they make sure run rate wise they are good. Because who knows, Pakistan might lose a match moving down and it may become a
Well, that's true. Pakistan could slack it off. They might have a bit of a dangerous match against Afghanistan, actually.
And then Afghanistan might become a threat. So even let's say whichever team wins on Sunday can't take it lightly.
No way. So Namibia is doing good. They've got Scotland 2 for 2. Messi. Of course, it's very much a one-sided match here. All right, let's call it quits tonight. Let's have an early one. We've been on for an hour and a half. All right. Shuman Shastri, Angel Ingles here. He's feel. Oh my God.
Okay, Norman.
All right. Black mask face. Sayonara. See you later, alligator. All right. All the best. Thank you to who have we had on the show? We've had
Scotland lose their third wicket.
Right.
So maybe we can wait 10 minutes and the match would be over, Norman.
Well, we're all out.
We wait 10 minutes and you will have a full coverage of both the matches.
All right.
Anyway, let's Vamanos. Good night, everybody. Good night, Jason. Good night, Sumant, Anuj, Trollface. See you guys tomorrow.
Horrible Scotland, you're right. Block mask, and block you.
Black
you.
mask, it's not block mask, Norman.
I read block. Meow. What's his meow business? He wasn't a cat. Hardly a cat. Look, we've lost interest here. Scotland are losing wickets hand over fist here. They're losing wickets hand. Is he not out? He's out. My God, they're 3 for 3.
Let me see how this fits.
After is that right? After 4 deliveries, they're 3 for 3?
That's shocking.
It's 4 deliveries of the innings. In 4 deliveries of the innings, we could see a world record lowest score here the way it's going.
Oh my God.
This is one of the worst starts I've ever seen.
Oh my God.
4 balls. I'm trying to look at the scoreboard here. My God. Munry bowled, Trumpelman duck. Callum caught Green, Trumpelman duck. Richard Barrington duck. The only runs have come from 2 wides in the first over.
So what
3
is
batsmen have gone out
hat-trick?
for ducks. I've never seen that in a
I'm
first
telling
over of
you,
a
you highly
match.
underestimated Namibia, Norman.
In the
So
first over, but the first over of a match, 3 ducks, unbelievable.
so you are on record, huh? Namibia qualifies, I get a Mercedes.
No, I didn't say they qualified. What did I say? What
They
are you
reached
going to
the
say?
semi-finals.
Yes.
Oh, sorry, you said they win all their matches. Okay, you said that.
Trumperman has just taken 3 over. Who takes 3 wickets in their first over of the innings?
A very good bowler or a very bad batting team. I don't know. Maybe the Scotland team took some. How can you say? Maybe maybe the batsman drank a bottle of Lagavulin last night.
This is absolutely awful. This is one of the worst performances. I've never seen a team lose 3 wickets in the first over of the match. Have you?
Yeah, Rizal. I'm referring to Rizal comment. Yes, Shoaib Akhtar, the incident was it. And if you ask me, my opinion, that was not a TRP rating, TRP stunt. They were trying to make it look like, but it was not like that.
Oh, it was a stunt. Come on. It was
Norman,
a
did you
stunt.
see the whole 15 minutes show? Did you see the whole show, 15 minutes?
No.
You see the whole show, then you will also agree that it was not a TRP stunt.
But he did it in front of Vivian Richardson. There we go.
Yeah, that's what really pissed Shoaib Akhtar off. And when in the break, when they came back, what I understood that there was an agreement that Dr. Norman would say sorry, and so they started. Then Shoaib Akhtar
I'm
said,
not saying sorry. I'm not saying sorry. Norman, I'm Norman. I'm not saying sorry. For what?
I said now man, not. I said now man, not Norman.
I'm quitting my own show here. Baram's replacing me once he gets rid of the cobwebs. I always thought you had cobwebs. Look at cobwebs behind you.
Yeah, they're big spiders in my house actually.
You know what? You get a broom to your house and you clean it. Jesus.
Maybe I'll use Aparna cleaning services.
She's a bit slow on turning up.
So by next Halloween she should be here.
Dr. Norman needs to apologize. I'm not a doctor. I'm not apologizing. Simple. Well, I apologize to Biram, who's wearing an Aero t-shirt with bloody cobwebs behind him.
And the mask. Manchi, did he see the mask? I'll wear it again. So we'll make the show interesting tonight.
Andrew Ingle reckons that Biram. Oh, that looks better. That looks much better.
This looks much better.
You look really good, actually. You look like a younger version of Biram there.
Thanks a lot, Norman.
You should take it as a compliment. Oh, put it back on. Oh my God, it's worse.
You can take the picture, Norman. Later.
I did. I'm not sure which one was the before or after. It's like Norman's twin, Baram Iran. Munchie.
I love Munchie's comment.
Munchie, you're officially sacked.
Munchie should become a stand-up comedian. You learn a lot.
I tell you what, Scotland need to be stand-up comedians. I've learned a lot from their batting today. Absolutely awful.
Scotland made the batch so exciting that you decided from not stopping the show and continuing the show. So they are 3 for 3. I'm right now confused which the first 3 is the wicket or the second 3 is
I've got no idea. I think it's the second one that's the wicket. That's an awful scoreline. That's seriously awful.
Which one is the wicket in the column? It's difficult to say. So how much will Scotland score? Will they cross 50 or 30?
What?
Runs as a team.
What do you mean? Now or what?
In today's match, what will be Scotland's score, batting score? Will it be 30, 50?
37, all that.
Okay. I say 55, 55 or 65. Is it
Both
run out?
losing,
One more wicket. Maybe I need to
both
do this.
losing scorelines.
So see, Namibia will, after this match, Namibia will be on the top of the table, Norman.
How? They've only won the one game.
So yeah, Pakistan won 2 games, so
Yeah.
they could have been at.
And Scotland will have to be last. Scotland has to be last. I can't even take it.
Troll say, now Norman, you need to say sorry by saying 37. What are you taking a dig at India being 36 all out?
I'm not having a dig at anyone. You and your Aero T-shirt. What are you? A pilot or something? I don't know what's wrong.
I have lots of.
Ruben Trumpelman. Ruben Trumpelman. My name is Ruben Trumpelman, but I'm not speaking German. I speak Afrikaans. All right.
Oh, 4 for 3. I don't know. That's the score or the wickets?
Yeah. All right, Bram. We'll have to leave it at that.
Okay, Norman. See you. Good night.
All right,
Good night,
guys.
everyone.
We'll see each other tomorrow. Hopefully, we'll get a better sort of game. Tim Wilson Davies is saying
Tomorrow is only one match, right? Afghanistan.
Yeah, this is Afghanistan's second match, I think. I lost the first, but for God's sake, it's awful scorelines.
No, tomorrow, who is playing whom? Tomorrow, there's only one match.
Australia playing Sri Lanka.
Okay, just one match.
That's the first match. And then I don't know who's playing the second one.
I think tomorrow it's only one match, Norman. Friday there are 2 matches: Pakistan, Afghanistan, and one more.
All right, let's have a look. Oh,
Tomorrow is what? Australia, Sri Lanka.
I thought I had this. Hang on. Now, what were the games again? Okay.
People on comments also not saying which games are tomorrow and which games on Friday. Not good. Fast in commenting.
No, I can't find, but they're out. Sri Lanka, Avishka, and Rajapaksa. All right, guys. Let's say goodbye. Let's talk about this when we get back. Currently, scoreline is that what's the scoreline update?
4 for
Scotland
3.
3 for 4. Scotland 3 for 4 chasing Namibia's total, which was 140. No, it doesn't say what was the score. What was the score?
4 for 3.
Exactly. So Namibia have got suddenly.
So finally, they have more runs than wickets.
Yeah, Australia versus Sri Lanka.
Manchi has replied, Australia versus Sri Lanka tomorrow. Yeah.
Yeah, I knew that.
That will be a good match. But there's only one match tomorrow.
Australia plays Sri Lanka, followed by, would you believe, Bangladesh versus West Indies. 2 teams that have been beaten by England.
That's on Friday, Norman. Tomorrow there's only one match. That's what I'm trying to tell you. I'm sure tomorrow there's only one match. Yeah, Manchi is also saying.
Okay, yeah, that's correct. It's just the Australia versus Sri Lanka match, which is at the latest starting time. Correct. And then the day after, it is Bangladesh versus West Indies, followed by Afghanistan versus Pakistan.
Correct.
So tomorrow one match. Australia versus Scotland. Sorry, Scotland. Australia versus Sri Lanka. That's going to be a good match. I think there'll be a lot to be said about that match. I think that's a pretty good match.
I think whoever wins would have a very good chance to be second in the group and qualify.
I think it'll pretty much decide who's going to play against who's not going to play against, but who's going to be in the semi-finals with England.
And And who will most probably play Pakistan in the semi-finals?
Angelina, I'm waiting for squash versus England.
South Africa, Australia versus England.
All right. In Group 1. It's going to be
He's waiting for
probably.
South Africa versus England and Australia versus England. Those will be the big matches.
Yeah. All right, but thank you for your time.
Let's vamonos. Al vamonos.
Vámonos.
Scotland is 6-3 after 3 overs. Bye, everyone.
Thanks, everyone. Ciao, ciao.
Ciao.
Thanks, Dua. Okay, it's wonderful again. I'll have to finish it pretty soon, so it's a debacle, guys. We'll see each other tomorrow. Australia versus Sri Lanka, big match. All the best. And on Milton Davies, indeed, mate. Yep. Okay. 4 wickets and 4. Okay, guys. See you, Tim. See you, Munchie. We'll see you tomorrow for the big match, Australia versus Sri Lanka. All the best, guys.